Okay, this is part 2 of Spanish sustantivos y artículos. Ante todo. That means before all. As you know, English often uses definite articles, the, and indefinite articles, a or an, before nouns. So when you use the article the, it means a very specific thing, a certain thing. And when you use the articles a and an, it could just be any old thing. So hopefully that makes sense to you, the difference between definite and indefinite. So Spanish also has indefinite and indefinite articles. Definite and indefinite articles. But unlike English, they vary in form because, you guessed it, once again, they have a gender and number they must modify with the nouns. I'd first like to introduce the definite articles. So there are 4 forms that are equivalent to the one English word, the. So the definite articles will refer to specific nouns, and for a singular masculine, it's el. For a plural masculine, los, as in el diccionario and los diccionarios. And then on to the feminine nouns. The definite article you would use for a feminine singular noun is la. And for the plural feminine nouns, it's las. La computadora, las computadoras. I would love to point out one of the sidebars on page 14, lengua viva. So feminine singular nouns that begin with stressed a or a, because as we spoke about yesterday, you do not pronounce the H at the beginning of a word. They require the masculine articles el and un. The plural forms still use the feminine article. So el agua I think, and I'm willing to bet it was a stylistic decision hundreds of years ago when this rule was put into play. But you have to admit it does sound better when you say el agua, and you have the L between the E and the A in el agua. And then in the plural form, it's las aguas. And then hacha and axe is not one of our vocabulary words in any of these lessons, but it is a good example. Un hacha and unas hachas. Another rule I'd like to point out is since la fotografía is feminine, it is also feminine in its shortened version. So just like in English, many years ago when photographs were relevant, they were called photographs, and now, of course, we call them photos or pictures. But just like in English, in Spanish, the shortened form is foto. So even though it ends in O, the full name fotografía ends in A, so you're always going to use the feminine la or una in front of foto. All right, so indefinite articles. Spanish has 4 forms that are equivalent to the English indefinite article a, an, or some. A, an, or some. So you use indefinite articles to refer to unspecified persons or things. So like I said before, any old thing, not a very specific the thing. So again, indefinite articles have masculine and feminine forms. The masculine singular is un pasajero, un, and the masculine plural is unos. So un pasajero, unos pasajeros. So one passenger, some passengers. And then the feminine form for singular is una fotografía. And then plural form is unas fotografías for some photographs.